What is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin if you're new. Today I'm going to be reacting to Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department album. If you've been following my channel for any length of time, you'll know I am a huge Swiftie. I've loved Taylor Swift ever since the 6th grade, and I've been a Swiftie through literally all the eras, and I did get the opportunity to go to the Eras Tour last year, so check out that vlog if you want to see it. But today I'm going to be breaking down the album with my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on all of the songs. I've done this with several of Taylor's albums in the past, like Red, Lover, Folklore, and I think it's just really fun giving my opinion. I will say, like, even if I'm critical of some of the songs, I love Taylor Swift as a whole, and I honestly think she can do no wrong. She's an amazing artist, an amazing person, and I will always look up to her and love her. So it's just mostly like my opinion if I don't care for one song as much as the others. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the album down below. What's your favorite song? Let me know by commenting on this video, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. So I've been waiting a while to film this reaction video because I think all of Taylor Swift's albums are so detailed, and you really have to take time to digest them and listen to them because different songs will definitely mean things to you differently as you keep listening to them. So that's kind of why I waited and held off for a couple weeks. But the first song, of course, is Fortnight featuring Post Malone, and I think myself, like many others, were very intrigued on what this collaboration would sound like. And I do think it sounds very Post Malone-esque. I think a lot of people said it might have been originally thought to be a collaboration with Maddie Healy and more like 1975 vibes, but I actually think that it sounds more like Post Malone's musical style than the 1975. I like how the album starts out kind of dark and mysterious. The line, "I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me. I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my new aesthetic." And I think that's really an interesting way to start out the album. I think it's definitely setting the tone for it to be like darker and more mysterious. And there's this fan theory that all of Taylor Swift's albums, there's one song that kind of serves as a preview for the next album in the next era, and there's one song on the album that kind of serves as like reminiscent from the previous album. And I think from Midnights, I think Hits Different is actually the song that serves as the preview for Tortured Poets Department. And I think a lot of people haven't really talked about this much online because Hits Different was, of course, a bonus track only available at Target at first, and then it did get put on streaming, but it was sometime after, so I feel like that song kind of gets left in the dust. And I'll talk about a couple of the other similarities I see from Hits Different, but with Fortnight I see the same kind of imagery with, in the song Hits Different, there's like this struggle with alcohol and like missing someone and being sent away. And I think that's kind of interesting how this song starts out with the line about being sent away. Okay, I just centered myself. I think that last frame was a little crooked. But the next song is actually one of my favorites on the album, and that is the Tortured Poets Department. I had no idea what to imagine for this song, but I absolutely love it. I love the romanticism of the Chelsea Hotel, Patti Smith. I love this mention of these poets, and I didn't know who they were at first, so I had to look them up, and even what the Chelsea Hotel was, but I thought that was just a really interesting backstory, and I like how Taylor wove that in. And I love how, you know, the song is definitely about Maddie Healy. Like, there's so many references to him in that song. But I think it's really sweet because I think she wrote that song like when she was in like the highest high of her relationship with him, and like when she says, "I chose this cyclone with you," like she is still choosing him despite his craziness and everything. And I think that's really sweet and kind of artsy, and I don't know, it's also like tragic. So I feel like that song really does set the mood for the album more than Fortnight. I feel like the album actually has a lot of like happy desperation in it, but it's definitely one of my favorite songs. The third song is My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, and to me this song sounded kind of Reputation-esque with the beat of it. I feel like it's catchy. The lyrics aren't overwhelming to me, but I like it, and I think it's a strong song. The next song is Down Bad, which is kind of interesting to me. I feel like I liked the melody of the song. I thought it was catchy, but it seems, I don't know, when Taylor is just dropping the F-bombs, I don't ever think that's great writing. Like Olivia Rodrigo does it too, and if you know anything about especially like novel writing, that's really just like a cheat whenever you're constantly swearing. Like there's a time and place for swearing, but I feel like this song has a little bit too much vulgarity in it. But I do think, like I said, I do think the melody is pretty catchy. The next song is So Long London. I think this one was very highly anticipated. We all knew it was going to be about Mr. Joe Alwyn, and I like the way Taylor is singing in this song. I think it's very like different style for her, and I like all of the references to, like, you know, this cozy, like rainy London home that they shared together, and she's saying goodbye to that now. So yeah, I think it's a good song. I don't think it's like the most sad song. I think I was expecting the song to be sadder, but I do like it. Number 6 on the album is But Daddy I Love Him, and this is my favorite song on the album, and this is in like my top 5 Taylor Swift songs of all time. I love this song. I think it's great because I really can relate to the character Taylor's describing. This good girl, she's been a good girl her whole life, raised in a good family, and she's falling in love with this man who's kind of crazy and magnetic, and you know, she's saying like, we're just gonna floor it, we're gonna just go full speed ahead with this relationship no matter what people think. But she's still cognizant of the fact that people are judging her. And I think in our society, not just in a religious sense, but a lot of different people can be very sanctimonious and infringe their judgments upon us. And so I really liked how Taylor illustrated that in the song, and how she illustrated that the character was breaking free from that. Like, she's running with her dress unbuttoned. Like, she doesn't care that that's not proper anymore. She's just going for it. She's giving into her feelings because she knows her feelings aren't wrong, and even if they are wrong, she has to own her own story. So I feel like the song is very empowering, and I can't even imagine being as famous as Taylor Swift and having such scrutiny like on you at all times, and all of these sanctimonious people like saying different things about her. And especially as a woman, I think with like having a kid and just like where other people think Taylor Swift should be in life, because I get that too as a younger woman. It's like that's all people are obsessed with, is like, when are you having a kid, when are you getting married? And I think this song is very empowering. I think Taylor wrote it in a sense like, you know, whatever you choose, you have to own up to your story, and your parents can't pick that story for you, the media can't pick that story for you, someone from your church, someone from your hometown, like no one can write that story for you. And if it's wrong or right, if it leads you to a good place or a bad place, it's all at the end of the day your story that you're writing and the choices that you're making. So I love that song. I also kind of feel like it's a sister song to Ivy from Evermore, because they're both really like character driven songs in my opinion. I see more of this like character rather than Taylor herself, and I think when Taylor writes into this more like character voice, I feel like those are some of her best songs. The next song is Fresh Out the Slammer, which I really don't understand this song. Like, I don't understand, first off, I didn't know what a slammer was, but apparently it's prison, and so to me it didn't really make sense. I think it's probably, I can't really tell if it's about a relationship or like fame. So to me it's like not super clear, and I don't find the melody too interesting. I don't really vibe with this song. It's like a skip for me, so I think it's probably one of the weaker songs on the album. The next song is Florida, another song I really like. I love how it mentions Destin. I've actually been to Destin twice. I just was in Destin a week ago, so I love that little nod to Florida. I think the sound is very unique. I don't think Taylor has a single other song in her whole discography that sounds quite like this song. I love Florence on this song. I love the way she sings, so sultry. And I feel like for Florence too, like this is like one of the most emotional I have ever heard her voice sound. I don't know like all of her songs, but I do know a good bit, and I feel like she just really brought the emotion to this feature on this track, and I love the drums. I love, like, it's very like No Body No Crime-esque. I feel like this song could easily be on the Evermore album, and I don't know, I think this song is a bop. I would love to hear it in concert. The next song is Guilty as Sin, and I absolutely love the melody. I think this is just so catchy, and it's funny because I don't, like, the lyrics don't mean a whole lot to me. I don't dislike them, but I just really love the melody and the way this song sounds. The next song is Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. I also feel like this song is Evermore-esque, and I know some people were saying that it's written because people thought Taylor was like practicing witchcraft on the Eras tour whenever she was doing Willow, and it's like, that's so stupid. But actually somebody told me that too, somebody I know in real life, and I was just like, eye roll, right? But I think it makes sense when you think about that. Maybe Taylor was writing about that criticism that she faced on the Eras tour. Maybe that's how the song was produced. I don't know, but I have to say, I think the song is good. I think it's interesting. It's very dramatic, and I'm sure it's amazing at the Eras tour. It looks amazing, but it's not like my most favorite song. Track 11 is I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can. Definitely about Maddie Healy, and you know, you just feel bad for Taylor when you listen to the song. You're like, how on earth did she put up with this guy? And I think it's a good song because I feel like a lot of women may find themselves in relationships like that, and unfortunately I feel like a lot of people can probably relate to that song. I can't personally. I would never go out with someone I thought I could quote unquote fix. Song number 12 is Love of My Life, or Loss of My Life, and I would have to say I think this is the saddest song on the album. I am surprised it's not track 5. It's definitely sad because I feel like Taylor saw herself marrying Joe and being with him forever, and there's a lot of songs that he has in on that, but I feel like none as much as this song. Number 13 is another one of my favorites, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I feel like this song is probably going to be the biggest hit of the album. I think it's super catchy, and I honestly cannot get the chorus out of my head. I'll be singing the chorus whenever I'm brushing my teeth. I think it's so good. And I think it also really captures just like the fact that you never know what someone's going through when they're performing, and how the whole culture of performance is you go out there, you smile, you deliver. And I think that's relatable even in the sense of not performing. Like, you know, you have to go to your job even if something is bothering you, even if you went through a breakup or something is wrong with someone in your family or whatever. It's like you have to go and carry on, and it's a very upbeat anthem to describe something that's pretty devastating. Number 14 is The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. I'm not gonna lie, I skipped this song a lot. I feel like I need to listen to it more because I've seen the TikToks from the Eras tour and it looks really good live, and I can tell you know, this song means a lot to Taylor, so I think I need to listen to it a little bit more because I find myself skipping it and I can't even really give a good analysis about this song. 15 is The Alchemy. I feel like The Alchemy is catchy. I like it, definitely about Travis. And I don't know, it's just like, it's a nice song. It doesn't blow my mind, but it's good. Clara Bow. This is another one of my favorites. I feel like I keep saying that. I have a lot of favorites on this album. I think this album is really strong. Yes, there are some songs I don't really like, but overall I think I have some like top favorite songs. I love when Taylor writes about her relationship with Fame, whether it's in The Lucky One or Nothing New off Red or Clara Bow. And I just think this is so interesting because this is not what I thought the song was going to be when she released the track list ahead of the album's release. I definitely thought this song was going to be more like The Last Great American Dynasty off of Folklore. I thought it was going to be more of like an exploration of Clara Bow's life instead of this comparison to Taylor Swift's fame and to Clara Bow's fame and to Stevie Nicks, and just how like all of these people are replaceable. And you know, it's always like the next best thing, so in show business, and that's what Taylor's trying to allude to in the song. And I think it's really sad, and I think I think it's actually one of the saddest songs on the album. Number 17 is The Black Dog, which I think was an interesting premise, but it kind of fell through for me. I don't really feel like, I feel the emotion in the song, but it's just, I feel like the song weaves a little bit too much, and I don't know, I can't quite get the full picture. I wish it was like One Day in the Black Dog, and then she kind of circles back to the heartbreak. Instead, it's just like a lot of different verses that I don't think really tie in together that well. 18 is I'm Gonna Get You Back. People are saying that's like an Olivia Rodrigo song. I don't know, I'm not sure, but I think the song is, it's okay. Again, not one of my favorites, but not a bad song. I will say though that the people who keep saying it's similar to like an Olivia Rodrigo song, I also think it's, you know, you could say any song is similar to any song because of X, Y, and Z, but Shania Twain wrote a song in the early 2000s called I'm Gonna Get You Good, and it's kind of similar idea. It sounds really different, but it's like a similar idea. So it seems like nothing is sacred in the world of music. You can't make any song sound even slightly like another song, or you can't draw any parallels to another song or whatever. And I do realize that Taylor kind of unfairly took advantage of Olivia Rodrigo with the song rights. And I will say that's like one thing I don't really agree with Taylor on. I don't think she should have came after Olivia for that, even though I love Taylor so much. I mean, whatever, I'm not gonna get into it online, but I will say if I have like one criticism of Taylor, it's that. Number 19 is The Albatross, and I like this song. I think it's very catchy and interesting. It kind of reminds me of that song Taylor did with Aaron Dessner. I can't remember the name of it. 20 is Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. This song, I don't know, it's just, it doesn't do it for me. The title is way too long. I feel like it should have been scrapped from the album. 21 is How Did It End? It's definitely another really sad song. You know, I think Taylor's just exploring this theme of, you know, there might be this specific moment in the relationship where you knew it ended, but how could it end after like everything that they had been through together? 22 is So High School. It's another one of my favorites on the album. I think it's a really cute, fun song. Love that Travis brings out this more high school frivolous side of Taylor. I think that's great. And I think this song also reminds me of Hits Different on Midnights. I think it sounds like a slowed down version of Hits Different, kind of a similar beat, similar melody, in my opinion. 23 is I Hate It Here. I think this song is so relatable for like all creatives. Like you want to just like escape into your like own personal secret garden, and I love that reference in the song. And I think, you know, it's a good song, it's got good imagery, and I really like the writing. 24 is Thank You Amy. It kind of gives me like Betty vibes from Folklore, just with the more like, I don't know, country sort of vibe to the song. It's not like explicitly country, but it gives me like a little bit of Betty vibes. And I think it's about Kim. Why do people think it's about Karlie Kloss? That makes no sense to me. And I do think at this point Taylor and Kim's feud is like a publicity stunt, because there's no way Kim would be okay with this song being released if it wasn't. I think Taylor and Kanye have real beef with each other, but I think Taylor and Kim are probably secretly cool with each other, but they just kind of create this publicity because it helps them both stay relevant. 25 is I Look in People's Windows. I think it's a good concept of being like an outsider and, you know, looking for this person that you once were so close to, and you're not really involved in anything. You're not enmeshed into a family or anything because you thought your family was going to be with this person. And it's another darker, sad song. 26 is The Prophecy. I like this song a lot too. It's sad because I feel like that's, you know, where Taylor's head is at. She doesn't want the money. She just wants somebody to love her. Hopefully she finds with Travis. Hopefully she wrote this song before she met him. 27 is Cassandra. I don't really get who Cassandra is. Is this the Cassandra from Greek mythology? Is this some other Cassandra? I don't know. I pretty much always skip this song too. Peter, I think this song is a little overdone. Like the Peter Pan imagery is overdone. I also skip this song. 29 is The Bolter. I love, again, when Taylor writes about fictitious people. This, I don't know if she was an actress or, heiress or whatever, but she, you know, had childhood trauma and she was always trying to outrun her relationships because of whatever reason, and Taylor captures that in this song, and I think it's unique. I like the speeding town car line. It's very like Gatsby-esque almost. And then 30 is actually another one of my favorites, and that's Robin. I think I forgot to say this, but I feel like this album and also Midnight's is really about Taylor's like loss of innocence and her full coming of age. And I think Robin is this very like sentimental song where she's sort of looking back on her youth, or the youth that we give children in America, and this like imaginary this imaginary okayness we instill in children, and like how beautiful that is, but how heartbreaking it is when you lose it. So it's definitely a song about growing up, loss of idealism, which I feel like Tortured Poets is like a couple steps beyond that loss of idealism. Like Midnight's, I could really feel that loss as one of the key themes, especially with You're on Your Own Kid. But I think, you know, it's the next album, Taylor's kind of progressed beyond that, but this song is definitely about that. And then 31 is the manuscript. A lot of people are saying like this is Taylor saying goodbye to us and like her last song, but I actually take it a different way. I take it as Taylor thinks the only thing she's got is her songwriting, and I think she's going to keep going because that's what she thinks she has. So I'm gonna spin that way. Maybe it's just my own hopefulness that she's not saying goodbye to us and this won't be the end. But those are my thoughts in a nutshell. I feel like I left a lot of things out. I was just trying to kind of get through this video, but again, let me know, do you agree with me, disagree with me? Have I got it wrong? What was your favorite song? Be sure to comment down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.